Deputy Prime Minister Anutin, welcome to In Conversation.
My pleasure.
Thailand has been issuing very inconsistent statements and incomplete instructions regarding quarantine for COVID-19.
I deny the statement of being inconsistent. Thailand is doing whatever it can to make sure that people are safe from this coronavirus 2019. So we are very stable in terms of implementing any measures to fight this COVID-19.
But there remains a lot of confusion over voluntary self-quarantine, mandatory self-quarantine, and now you have flight operators asking for medical certificates which you can't even truly verify. So tell us, what exactly is the measure in place?
We would quarantine anyone who came in from the 4 countries that we have announced. The quarantine procedures are, of course, within the course of law, and we have all rightfulness to apply. We are under no obligation to inform anyone about our measure because things change every day. So we have to go along with the current situation. This spreading of coronavirus doesn't come in a uniform movement.
You are saying that the people coming in from perhaps 4 of the infectious zones, such as South Korea, China, Italy, as well as Iran, have to be quarantined. How do you make sure that people are actually staying, for example, within the confines of, say, their hotel room or in their apartments?
We will have to ask them to sign, I would say, what is called affidavit, that they will have to, if they are foreigners, they will have to comply to our requirements. We will have to inform the hotel operators when the people under our quarantine program registering themselves with each particular hotel. They will have to let us see the reservations. They will have to let us know how to contact them. They will have to report themselves through an application that we are giving them in the form of whatever means. That's for the foreigners. I can only talk with you on briefly as summary. If you really want me to come up with pages of regulations, I can show you after we finish this interview. But when we are imposing this procedure, we will have to be able to, we will have to be sure that we can exercise this plan before announcing.
Some countries, for example, Indonesia, Singapore, they have temporarily banned visitors from high-risk countries going into those nations. Why is Thailand taking that risk of continuing to allow the borders to be open and perhaps be susceptible to higher numbers right here in the country?
The border is not open. The border is now even tighter in terms of examining each person coming in from the country, from the country that we are doubt.
Will you consider closing the borders, and what will trigger that?
At the end of the day, the bottom line has told us that we have been on the right pace. Again, going back to the numbers, people have even surprised that how could a country like Thailand remain at this low numbers of people that got infected comparing to other countries. and how come we are falling down from the ranking each and every day. So isn't that from our measures that we know what we are doing, and we know that we won't spend all the assets that we have in fighting things at the stage that we don't have to put that big effort on.
You mentioned the numbers. Many are skeptical that this is accurate. What assurance can you give them that this is indeed a true figure?
I'm not the one who give this figure.
You're the health minister.
But I'm not, the counting wasn't made by me. It
But
was
what
made by a
assurance-
team of doctors. Assurance is, this is not only my job. The people who are doing day-to-day business are the teams of doctors comprising hundreds of them, being around the Ministry of Health in Thailand, around the clock working.
Many are concerned that the number may be underreported because, number one, for example, the doctors are not testing because they say that they do not have enough test kits. And yet another is the fact that some feel that many people may be falling through the cracks of the healthcare system.
Thailand is rated number 6 in the world in terms of giving good health to the people. The number 6 ranking in the world did not come through lobbying, did not come through the reason that I am the Minister of Health. It came from all hard work that our doctors and people in public health arena have been doing in the past decades, on and on and on, until they have developed a certain system, a certain credentials that if it's for medication and public health, Thailand stands up front. The Thai people should support Thai tourism industry. Why going abroad now? Why don't start appreciating what Thailand is having? Who will ever help Thailand better than Thai people? So I think the government is pursuing to convince people to tour around Thailand whenever they have holidays. By doing so, it will stimulate all associated business to boost up. It will make people in the smaller business ventures to dare improving their services. So this is the time that Thai will have to support Thai.
But many people are on the brink of losing their jobs, particularly in the tourism sector. What can the government do in order to ensure that this doesn't happen?
The government cannot just do it alone. We need cooperation of Thai people. the budget bill has just passed. The government is pushing every day to make sure that the expenditures will be spent throughout the country according to the budget plan. We don't expect that we will have any tourists during at least 4 to 8 weeks from now. With this kind of erosion of diseases throughout the world, it is actually a pandemic. We have to accept that. So we know that once there is a pandemic, people will be reluctant to travel, and we will be reluctant to receive them. Our first priority is to safeguard our own people, which we are doing, and we are doing nicely.
Do you take this epidemic as the biggest test since you've assumed office as Deputy Prime Minister and Health Minister?
Well, it is one of the hard jobs, but I'm sure that each and every day there will be some. If there is no COVID-19, there will still be some other things to do. COVID-19 will be one big lesson learned from me in order to manage my job if something heavier comes in the future. So I appreciate. If I cannot stop it, then I will gladly stand fighting with it, with my confidence. My confidence comes from the trust that I have on my people that are working with me in the Ministry of Health, fighting against this COVID-19. And I have full confidence in them, and I know that they will make it.
Recently as well, you mentioned that perhaps it's a good time for a cabinet reshuffle, given the post-censure debate. Why do you believe that this is a good time?
I did not say that it is a good time for reshuffling because it's not my job. People who can reshuffle the cabinet members is a person who can do that is the Prime Minister. I just answer one question to from the reporter that, do you think reshuffling is reasonable now? I said, yeah, why not?
Why do you feel it's a reasonable time to reshuffle?
Well, after a few months have passed, censure debate has been made. So if the Prime Minister so wishes to make a little change, if he asked me, I said, yeah, I support. Actually, he's the boss. So as long as he is doing things that is within his authority, I will have to support.
There is growing frustration from the ground, as you have seen in the demonstrations organized by the young people here in Thailand. How do you intend to win the mandate of the people in order to govern this country?
Going through this period, we understand, at least we appreciate these students and youngsters who are kind enough not to disobey the government or public health ministry recommendation that they should not stage any demonstration right now because of this COVID-19 epidemic. So they give full cooperation to us. Democracy with different opinions, with demonstrations, with people going against the government. These are normal course of life. Listen to them. If they send a legitimate voice, we have to hear and we have to somehow or sometimes follow.
But how do you intend to win them over, given the fact that they're noticing how the government seemingly is clipping the wings of the opposition?
I think I'm doing my job according to my assignment fully.
However, increasingly you're seeing a lot of frustration and unhappiness on the ground, particularly when they see how the government has managed this whole COVID-19 situation.
COVID-19 situation has nothing to do with politics. It is actuality, and we are doing what we can to cope with the situation.
But it highlights the mismanagement of it.
Is not implemented by politicians. It is implemented by doctors, the pools of doctors, scholars, scientists, the people who are in medical area, not politicians. The politician only support them in this time of need. Whatever they need, we support them. Well, take the ballot and let the people who are working with me vote. And if they vote against of having me being here, I will gladly resign before anyone come and ask. I'm a bottom line oriented person. As long as the bottom line is still there, as long as all measures and policy that I have given are still being undertaken nicely and with no objections from my colleagues, I'm considering that I consider it that I'm still workable.
You mentioned earlier that you have learned and understand people a lot more today in your job. People have taken to you as well, and you work very hard. Do you think you'll make a better Prime Minister for Thailand?
I'm happy with the job that I'm being assigned now. I have confidence in our Prime Minister. The more I work with him, at least I feel that he is fully dedicated, to work for our country. And there is no reason why I have to think of something else that hasn't come. I always believe in doing the best every day, giving my all every day. Whatever happens in the future, it's God's will.
But do you want to be the Prime Minister?
Nobody knows the future. If people have confidence in me on the next election or whenever, if they ever have confidence in me, if they lay their confidence in me, I will have to follow their will.
Deputy Prime Minister Anutin, thank you very much for joining me on In Conversation.
Thank you.